So here we go with another one of these updates. I'm always trying to think of different ways to start talking about whatever. I'm not much of a conversationalist, I guess. That's why I only really associate with fellow nerds and geeks and such. But hey, that's why you're here, right? So today is July 7th, as of me recording. I don't know when this is going to be uploaded, but today is July 7th, and in Japan, that is Tanabata, which is like the Star Festival. So it is originally from China, and it is a day to the Milky Way separates these two lovers. That's let me see, the Orihime and who Hikoboshi. And that, by the Western names, that would be Vega and Altair. And so once a year on this day they meet. So there's of course, depending on the Chinese calendar, but Japan follows the Western calendar, the Gregorian calendar. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? I guess I like my name. Oh yeah, check this out. This is so cool. I got this. This is Pac-Man. So this is a store called Nico and they had a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to be uploading pictures to my Flickr feed. So yeah, we went, and so Tanabata is like people will decorate bamboo trees with different little paper designs and stuff. It's kind of similar to decorating a Christmas tree. So it's a neat little day, and it's not like a day off from work or whatever, but it's just something fun to do. And maybe I'll put up some pictures of what it looks like. So we were in Maebashi driving around, and I saw that they had a big festival going on. So I ate some takoyaki and some delicious beef tongue on a big skewer. That was really good. So yeah, we were out shopping, and I stopped by Book Off Plus, and there was a Zvesta SU-33 flanker. And I'm building the Hasegawa one. The Zvesta one, you can build it with the wings folded up, and it was only 2,200 yen. I'm like, oh, but I'm already short on cash, and I've had to pay for my domain, stevethefish.net. I've had to pay my freaking Avast antivirus stuff. So yeah, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna afford stuff. I am planning on, at the end of this month, I am planning to hopefully go to the Wonderfest in Chiba. I haven't been there since 2 years ago, when I was working for that model company, which I won't mention the name of, and it didn't really count because I was working there. And I did get to see some of the stuff, but I want to go, just to go there and look around. So it's a lot nicer when you're a customer instead of working for a company. So yeah, that's at the end of this month. So yeah, we went to Book Off. So in Japan, Book Off is a store of used books, CDs, and video games, and they also have Hard Off. Right, and that's like computer stuff, electronics, and stereos, TVs, portable computers, and that's also where you can find some model stuff and collectible toys and crap. Mostly it's focused on electronics. You can also get some laser discs and stuff like that, and it's really random. There's the Hard Off in Kofu City in Yamanashi Prefecture that has like butt hundred laser discs of like anime laser discs and such. They had like a really fantastic selection. That's where I got my Macross too. Got the whole set on Laserdisc. That's really cool. So there's Book Off, there's Hard Off, there's House Off, which is like home electronics and like used clothing and crap, and there's Hobby Off. It's exactly what you think it would be. I want to try to maybe do a video of Hobby Off, see if I can get away with that. I haven't done a video of different places in Japan in quite a long time. Recently it's been kind of controversial. Like some idiot, he was at a sushiro, which is the kaiten sushi, the conveyor belt sushi, where the sushi goes around in a circle. You pluck the plates off, and then they just count the plates when you order up your, when they tally your order at the end. Some numbnuts put a camera on the conveyor belt, and there was this camera going around recording video of everybody, and some people were like, waving at the camera. They thought it was neat. Some people got upset, and it made national news. And then because of that, you're not allowed to have any cameras unless you ask for permission. If you want to take a picture of a group, hey, we went to Sushiro or something. It's just a lot of like really pushy foreigners that are always like, I might be kind of have been guilty of that in the past, perhaps a little bit, not that obnoxious, but of course there was that Logan Paul incident at the beginning of this year. So Hard Off is really cool, and so there's there's a Book Off, there's House Off, Hard Off, Hobby Off. And the place I went to today was Book Off Plus, which it was like a Book Off and a bunch of other stuff, and they had a bunch of model kits, and that's where I saw that the flanker kit, Vice Vista. They had some other stuff there too. Actually, I was kind of surprised. I saw the Fist of War, the walking Nazi tanks, and I have one of those kits, and gosh, this is my friend's company, and I haven't devoted any time to. I don't think I even got around to doing an unboxing of that kit. I need to do that. I at least owe him that. I was hoping to get started on it, but whatever. Got so many other things going on at the same time. There's also a Book Off Super Bazaar. That's in Maebashi, in the main area of town. That is really cool. It's just like all of the stores put together in like this one gigabungus store. It's really great. Not as big as like the Kante-Dan type of stores, but they got a lot of really cool crap. I got some Xbox 360 games there, and I got F-19 Stealth Fighter by RD. I'm going to show you that in a bit. So anyhow, it was a nice day today. We had ramen for lunch, and maybe it was the ramen, or maybe it was something I had at the festival, but I think I just got sucker punched by MSG or something, because I was falling asleep almost. I was afraid of rear-ending somebody driving home, and I got home and I took a nap for like close to 2 hours, and I woke up. I'm feeling better now, but I felt like I'd been hibernating in carbonite for a while. It was just really crazy. So, yeah, golly, that was Alright, enough of that. Okay, so, I'm going to show you what I've been working on. I bought some neat crap. I have printed out my own decals on the, this is by Fine Molds. I'm really hoping that their clear decal paper is a lot thinner than their white decal paper, because their white decal paper was very thick. But I've got the eyes for Yuri, and if these turn out right, I'm going to be mailing some of these. I got plenty of them in case I screw up, right? Why not? I got to fill up this paper somehow. I'm going to send this to Mick, because he's also working on this. He's the one who had sent me that the Yuri from Dirty Pear. It's like a 1/4 scale. It's really big. the lovely, sexy figure right there. I'm gonna do that. I got this. This goes to the old Mecha Collection Yamato kit of I think the Goland, or no, the Nazca. And you know, there's a 2202 version, and that has actual like engraved, right? So you can actually mask it off and just paint it black. But the old one just had a stupid sticker, so I scanned it and turned it into a clear decal. And then here are the to scale. You know, I scaled them down. This is the Fine Molds X-Wing decal sheet that's been shrunk down considerably because I'm going to hopefully finish this thing sometime this year. This is, you know, this is the Millennium Falcon. I'm mostly done with the Rebel transport, but I want to do the X-Wings, have decals for those guys. So, yeah, and also some license plates because I'm working on that car for my father-in-law. So, why don't I just go ahead and show you what I got right now? Okay, yay. First of all, actually no, before I do that, let's talk about stuff and things here. A lot of people were talking a lot about, on the Starship Modeler forum, about the Bandai plastic, and I want to hear from people what your experiences are. A lot of people are like really upset because they are saying that enamel paint does not, it's not very kind to Bandai plastic, and so they're kind of pissed off about that. My response is, assuming that's true, is that in Japan people don't use enamel paints to paint an entire model. Enamel paints are usually for touch-ups and such, or you know, weathering and doing washes, not really for painting an entire model. I don't have, I mean, when I was a kid I used enamel paints, but you know, it takes a long time to dry. It's just kind of, I don't like enamel paint. Here in Japan, lacquers are very popular. The Mr. Hobby lacquers are fantastic. All of the Gundam paints, though, those are lacquers. The Yamato paints, lacquers. Those are by GSI Krios's, you know, Mr. Color. Gaia Notes, they do the lacquer paints for like Cyber Formula, Votoms, shoot, what's it called? Cyber Troopers, what's it called? Shoot, the Virtualon, that's what it's called, Virtualon. That's all lacquer. Of course, there's also acrylics, and Tamiya acrylics they're alright, but their color range of colors are not as great as the acrylics by GSI Krios. And as an aside, you know, so okay, I'm building this up here. This is the Academy P40 Warhawk. You're not going to see a video of this unless it's like a slideshow. But when I taped up the bottom, can you see this? There's like some sort of like a freaking you can see where the tape went, and it's all lined and stuff. You see that? Yeah, I think you can see that. I can see it in the video. And so it looks like crap. And I'm like, well, okay, no worries. I'll wet sand it. Then I'll just paint it again. And no, it didn't work. You can still see the crap there. I'm really, I don't know what to do. So I went ahead and just put the wheels on, and I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm hoping if I put down a clear coat, it might kind of help it fade it away a little bit, but I don't know. I think what happened was I didn't wait long enough for the paint to set, but I figured that wet sanding should have, you know, solved the problem, but alas, it did not. Anyhow, this isn't a really good model. The fit isn't very good, like right here, but I'm going to have this posed in flight, and hopefully it might look kind of cool. The propellers are not going to move, though, because I kind of screwed up. So, oh yeah. So Bandai. Now, there is one kit that I have done, and let me pause this. I'm going to show you. Okay, here we go. This is a Bandai model. This is an old legacy Yamato kit, and I weathered this up with turpentine, and like a big chunk of this kind of just fell off, and it turned out all right, but the turpentine really ate into the plastic, and I was for a while I was rather concerned. Thought maybe I totally screwed it up. So that was my experience with Bandai plastic totally being just demolished by something. So that, again, that was artist oils with turpentine, and ever since then I've been kind of really careful. So I was able to, you can't see it very well, but it was back here, and I was able to glue it back into place, and you can't even really tell the difference anymore, which is good. But yeah, and come to think of it, I think I can do like a slideshow video of this model kit, because I put this on my Tumblr account. Anyhow, let me put this away. So Bandai, let me know. Have you had problems? Let me know. Now I did do that Star Destroyer, and when I just went over it with the Panel Line Accent Color by Tamiya, and this is enamel, and a little piece broke off, and I think maybe it was weakened by the thing. I don't know. Speaking of which, okay, this is a much better job. I've recently completed this. This is the Bandai Vehicle Collection Star Destroyer, and I made sure to not paint it too much. I think I over primed it or something, and the detail was a little bit soft, but this one turned out a lot nicer. The old one is on my desk at work, and I'm keeping this one. And actually here in the back I have painted it with that fluorescent paint. So I get the black light. I'm dark. Check this out. Shoot, where's the switch, man? There we go. Tube. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Dude. Star Destroyer. Oh my gosh. I think that turned out pretty cool. Put it in the dark here. Yeah, isn't that great? Maybe I can turn off the computer monitor. You can see even more betterly. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So this is the Gaia Notes paint. This is the for the blue steel arpeggio, and I just hand brushed it into the engines there to light it up. Pretty cool. And of course, I'm gonna show you that next, or coming up real soon. I've already recorded a bunch of stuff, showing crap and such. Model Graphics magazine for the month of August has released their magazine bundled with Clearcast version of this Star Destroyer kit. So I got one, and I'm going to show you that pretty soon. Anyhow, I keep going off topic here. So for painting Star Wars kits by Bandai, apparently fine molds, there's no problem. Bandai, I think, so not all styrene is equal, okay? Every company has different styrene. It's not always exactly the same. Touching AMT styrene is like really hard. The plastic that's by Airfix, it feels like really nice, actually. I really like the feel of that. So Yeah, every company has different plastic, right? The formula is not always going to be the exact same, and I think perhaps the quality of Bandai's plastic, which really helps you to get super fine detail like this, that is just, it just looks amazing, and it's like, you know, hey, this is not resin, this is plastic. Maybe that stuff doesn't really react very well to harsher, you know, agents, you know, whether it's turpentine or enamel thinner or, you know, what have you. I'm guessing. I don't know. So, at this point, I guess I should shout out, I don't know if I've mentioned him before, but Bashing Kits. He's done like really cool stuff, and he's done like the low 144 scale X-wings, and I need to finish my 3 Y-wings. You know, I really need to get back to that, but so many other things I need to get back to. Anyhow, he was using this stuff here. This is Citadel's Nuln Oil. That's Nuln. This is that Gamer's Workshop. Where is this? A British company? I think. Yeah. So yeah, UK. All right. This is actually becoming a lot more prolific in Japan. In the hobby magazines, I've seen stuff about Warhammer. I think it's starting to kind of, you know, increase in popularity. For the longest time, I knew there was a gaming shop that was in the Nakano Broadway building in you know, in Tokyo, and you know, you can buy this kind of stuff there, I suppose. But I bought this on, I think, Yodobashi. Yeah, some other places are slowly carrying this stuff. For me in Japan, Hobby Link Japan is probably the best place to look for stuff like this, except they didn't have it. This is Ammo by MIG. This is an oil brusher called Starship Filth. And it's just like an oil paint, you know, like I have, but you don't have to mess with the, you know, with the messy stuff. You just pull it out, and you got like a perfect amount right there. You can just brush it right on, and then you use enamel thinner, or I guess you can use turpentine, whatever. So this is really cool. It's like a dirty black. It's like more of like a bit grayish, like a dark gray. But it's not like a German gray. It's more like a dirty looking gray. It's really nice. So I got this, and I think I got this from, I think they're called Model Fun or SP Zoo. Where's their card? I guess I don't have it in here with me. They're in Poland, and I recognize their name because when I worked at that model company I will not mention, they were one of my customers. I never met them in person, but I did send them lots of email. And from Italy, I got these off of eBay, by the way. This is also by MIG Ammo, Starship Streaking. So here we go. It says that this is specially formulated to create streaking effects. Now, streaking was really popular in the 70s. And I think that's probably why they use a lot of streaking in their Star Wars models when they first filmed A New Hope in 1977. And, different streaking. Anyhow, it says here, apply to the side plates of your model, paint vertical lines with a fine brush, and later feather them with vertical motion using clean enamel thinner. So, yeah, streaking effects. So, Hobby Link Japan would be the only place to get stuff like this in Japan that I know of. And they didn't carry these, so I had to resort to Europe. But they do have another one of these called Starship Sludge Bay, which, you know, I'll get that one. I guess the only difference is that, like, it's a little bit darker color than this. You know, whatever. But I wanted to get Starship Filth. So, I assume that these will work well with Bandai plastic. Let me know if you've used these. I know definitely this is acrylic, So there's going to be no problem whatsoever, with Bandai. But yeah, Bandai plastic, acrylic paint and lacquer paint, there's no problems. And I've seen people like, at least one or two people were like, well, how is it that lacquer, which will like completely destroy plastic, is fine with Bandai plastic, but enamel paints aren't? Well, that's true. If you soak plastic, styrene in lacquer thinner, it's gonna just totally just melt, right? But it works differently. Lacquer dries really quickly, and that's why you have to use retarders if you're going to be, hand painting. Like, I use this for the Star Destroyer. When I was hand painting the fluorescent paints, this is Mr. Retarder Mild, right? You use this when you're hand brushing lacquers. Anyhow, when you're doing like a turpentine or whatever type of a wash, or even like a turpenoid, which I was using on my fulcrum, it takes like a day or two to dry. And so, if it's sitting on your plastic for a day or two before it finally dries, it takes all that time, and it can be actually eating on your plastic. Now this is Hasegawa, the fulcrum back here. So I guess there's no problem with that. But Bandai, it's different. So lacquer, though, when you paint it, it dries really fast, and it's not going to be eating on your model kit that whole time. Am I making sense? I hope I am. So I am almost done with this. Almost done. I had yet another setback. Let me get my pointer outer here. I had to build another one of these things here, this antenna on top, and I had to re-drill it and then stick it in there and glue that back into place. Then I had to with the retarder, hand brushed the color on there, and it looks just fine now. I have finally attached this thing here, and hopefully I'm not going to have this bust off on me. But here we go. I've got it chalked up. You can see there's some dirty stuff down there. And all I need to do is do a flat coat on the bottom. Then I will assemble the landing gears. And I got those painted up, and then I'm done. I'll have that finished. Finally, it's just been taking so long. Actually, to dirty this up, I borrowed this from my daughter. This is the Tamiya decoration series. This is for the sweets decoration. What you do is, if you want to make like cookies and stuff and have it like burnt, you use this. And this is the same thing as the Weathering Master, and I don't know which one it is, but it's the exact colors if I recall correctly. And yeah, I used the brown and dark brown to make the streaks, the filthy parts on the bottom here. And I was following a photograph that I had seen. So, alright, shoot, you know what? I didn't notice this before, but I got some like frickin' white buildup here with the flat coat. I might have to scrape that off. You see that in the thruster there? That's no good. I don't like that. I'm not happy about that. This thing here, I built this well. Lovely Steve, SMKR, he gave this to me. This is last year. And this is the Revell kit. And Revell's really cool. They did a good job with this. They can do decent stuff, except that they also have to kind of, screw things up. Like they put these frickin' landing gears here. Okay? Kind of sucks. Now with the electronics and crap, I'm not going to bother with it. But yeah, they put these stupid landing gears. If it wasn't for that, this could be a pretty decent model. the electronics, fine, they can keep that. But what they should have done is, instead of these flaps, they should have just had like a hole to mount it on. And it would have been just fine. Whatever. Yeah, so they always have to do crap like that. So, yeah, people ask me what my thoughts, or at least one guy, asked me what my thoughts on about Revell. It's been covered by other people a lot already, so I didn't really feel the need to really say much. But Revell, so they never really, as far as, sci-fi modelers go, they never really treated us very, with much respect. Now, they did a fantastic job with when they re-released the Battlestar Galactica kits for the 30th anniversary. Very nice. Like, I did the Cylon Raider. Good. Yeah, they took the old model and they did some retoolings, and I also have the Viper, and they did a really good job. Not bad at all. They did this, which is pretty good. Pretty good. The side trenches are too narrow, but otherwise it's not bad. But the thing is like they were trying to market their stuff as like just assembled toys, right? And the old Kenner stuff, I used to assemble those when I was a kid, and we would put the stickers on. That's not a model kit, that's just a toy, right? So they had all of these things that were all out of scale with each other, and apparently they ended up in the bargain bins of these stores and such. Sci-fi apparently for any of these companies is going to be like very low, at least for these Western companies. Their main focus is going to be on scale models, but they were kind of being half-assed with that as well. Like, do I have it here? Yeah. Now this is just an old version. This is the Monogram P40 Warhawk here. Now Revell, like, this is like, the mold is from, like, if you look up at scalemates.com, I think the molds were like from like the late 60s. So while Airfix, they've been releasing brand new tooled Warhawks just like this, in 48 scale and 72nd scale, Revell, they just kept repopping the same stuff over and over again. That's it. And they would just rebox stuff from Zvezda. Or like going back to Star Wars, like they did the Zvezda Star Destroyer, good for them. And they were also repopping the Millennium Falcon in 72nd scale, the 148 scale TIE Fighter. I wanted to get that, because you can't get that in Japan anymore. Yeah, and since Revell has gone belly up, those have apparently shot up in price. They've gotten even more expensive. But, I mean, aside from, like, they're also like, I was just watching today, Viking Modeler, he was doing for the flanker group build, he was doing the Zvezda flanker, the SU-27 flanker, and that was just reboxed by Revell. So they maybe changed the decals or something, perhaps, but it's a Zvezda kit. So I'm not surprised that Revell didn't last, that they went bankrupt. Apparently Revell Germany is still going, for what it's worth. Hobbyco, the parent company in America, they weren't taking things seriously, I guess. They could have done things better with the Revell brand, but and this is maybe the only really decent Star Wars kit, I guess. They should have kept it in consistent scales, for one thing. That would have been a big help. Electronic gimmicks, whatever, but I guess I don't care so much about that. But yeah, they are capable of doing stuff, or were capable of doing some decent stuff, but whatever. So, mismanagement, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to show the stuff that I have recorded prior, and I'm kind of enjoying my delicious drink here. Yum. Okay, here we go. I have the brand new issue of Model Graphics. This was just released on June 25th. This is the August issue. It's funny how that works, I guess, but whatever. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So this is a repop of the Vehicle Collection Star Destroyer in clear. Ooh, isn't that neat? Look at all the lights. That's pretty. Oh my gosh, dude. Look at that. Lights. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's take this off here. This was like 1,800 yen, which so was a bit more than I was expecting. Ah, well. The last how to build illumination model. That just doesn't even make sense, but that's what it says right there. Go figure. Alright, Bondi Spirits. Oh my gosh. This is the Star Destroyer Clear Cast. Yay. Let's see what we got here. Page 7. Oh, look at that. There's the Discovery by Mobius. Here we are. Beautiful. So here we have a how-to on lighting this guy up. Move this. There we go. Okay. So you got these LEDs. They're both facing inwards, which is interesting. And so you got this nice glow here. And this is the kit lit up here, and then this is with a little bit of white here. Yeah, they went over it in white in order to help refract inside. And then they go over it with the black surfacer. This is Gaia Notes surfacer here. And that's the stinky stuff I got here, I think. Yeah, GSO3. Interesting. Although I think maybe I might want to use this, the finishing surfacer, because it's a high grit. I don't know. But you want to do that for light blocking. And then, here you'll see, what's this? It's kind of interesting. Anyhow, so they've probably got this all masked off here. And, yeah, masking to make it nice and glowy from the inside. And then you got this little wire coming in. And this is what you get. That's neat. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So if I remember right, these 4 light up when they go to hyperspace? I can't remember. Cannot remember. But anyhow, so this is what they're using, SMDs, looks like. Yeah, chip LEDs, which are actually SMDs. So if you want to light it up with SMDs, there you go. Or you can use some LED tape, perhaps. And they're powering it here with a CR2032 battery. So they got it clamped down. It looks like that's a plastic clamp. I guess it would have to be. So they're showing where to have the SMDs attached. Looks like. Interesting. So it looks like they got like blue SMDs for the engines, and then like a warm white for the sides, perhaps. Very cool. And here's like a standalone SMD, or is that LAD perhaps, going into the actual engines there. And then assembling it like so. And then it looks like what they're doing there is, it's not a pin vise, I don't think. And so, oh my gosh, look at that. That's cool. They've got the hanger lit up here too. That's great. So they have like different lights, different colored lights coming through here. That is just pretty fantastic. Really super neat. And that's an underwater X-Wing. That's cool. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Little diorama there. X-Wing underwater, that's weird. Glowing jellyfish and such. This is from Hangar 6, First Order, okay. Yeah, that's cool looking. Okay. Pretty nice. Now who's the... Oh, Rokugan. Yeah, okay. I met that guy actually, I believe. And so here we go. Say what you want about the movie, but I think I think the retro Millennium Falcon looks pretty cool. So yeah. Well, there you go. Now here we go. There's more on the Star Destroyer here. These are the actual instructions, I guess. Susume? Your recommendation? Oh, they give you the math here too. That's cool. So it's telling you how to use this this pre-wired stuff that Mr. Hobby is getting into it. Now I have seen with the Haikyuu parts, they sell these solderless LEDs and such that you don't need to use any solder. You just plug the things in the holes. And GSI Krios is getting into that scene as well. They got these little LED modules. So yeah, if you don't have the guts to build stuff, you know, to do all the wiring yourself, you can just do the solderless stuff. This is neat. These are these little these were remote control. These remote powered SMDs, but you know, I showed this in a previous issue. You have to get like this big ass base here, and the kit's not going to light up until you put it on this base. So really, it's super expensive, and it's not. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, it's a cool idea, but you know, whatever. So, what the heck is that? Captain Phasma, mask off. That's interesting, I guess. What else we got here? Oh, look at that. Bandai Spirits, Luke Skywalker, Stormtrooper version. So what, they used the head from the Stormtrooper maybe? And then, oh look at that. The little clear cast of a hologram. That is super cool. Oh my gosh, that is really cool. And then there's just C-3PO, he's got glowing eyes, and R2-D2's lit up as well. That's really fantastic diorama. That's really cool. I wonder if this was on display at the hobby show. Now this is on Coruscant here. Got some Star Destroyers flying over the city. That's pretty cool looking. Wow. This is a super cool issue, man. So yeah, again, this is Model Graphics August 2018. Oh my gosh, this is pretty freaking cool. And then, what is this, a Transformer? And then, oh, that's pretty cool. Is this from Gundam? It looks like a Musai. Huh, that's cool. Well, there you go. Neat stuff, man. Very cool. Alright, now let's look at the actual model kit itself. Dude. Alright, so now I've got it open here. Oh, yeah, I cut into that with that. That's cool. Alright, well, this is it. Oh, cow. Beautiful, man. Very beautiful. Yeah, this would be like the only real way to light up the smaller engines. Because I bought another one of the Star Destroyer kits to try to light it up, and then I found out, Brian from Hyperlink Japan /Beaver, he sent me an email. He told me that this is going to be announced in I think the previous issue of Model Graphics. So I've been looking forward to this. This is really cool. Very, very cool. So yeah, I would imagine just use like a pin vise to just kind of like do the little holes. That would be beautiful. Very, very cool. So what's his name? Dorobo Hige. He had clear cast the side trenches in order to light them up. But if the whole thing's glowing, then that'd be great. So yeah, paint it white first, and then paint it black to light block, and then do the white or the gray or whatever on top of that. That would be fantastic. So there you go. Very, very cool. Very super neat. So this is another magazine I picked up. This is actually an older one. This is Model Art, October of 2017. So this had an interesting article on weathering. And looking here at page 20, it talks about using, now these are the exact same Holbein artist oils that I'm using on my models. So you do like just the dots, and then you wipe them with, it says here they're using enamel thinner. I've used terpenoid. Turpentine is really kind of smelly. It's really strong, and but yeah, you don't want to maybe use these on your Bandai plastic models, perhaps. I'm guessing. So at least turpentine, definitely don't do that. I have first-hand experience with that. This is just masking off, and looks like they're using aluminum bare metal foil tape. So anyhow, for weathering techniques here, now this is the hairspray technique, and most people are familiar with that. This is hair gel. I've never seen anybody using hair gel before, but you see what he's doing, he's painting it on there, and I guess it hardens and then he peels it off. Really interesting. Or you can use Mr. Silicone Barrier, which is like that mold release, and then you lift it up with some tape or masking solution. And I have used this in the past. This is Mr. Chipping Rubber Block, and what you would do is like maybe paint it silver, and then you put on your regular paint, and then just chip it off with this. It looks like kind of like a eraser, but it's a lot scratchier, it's a lot harder. I didn't really like this product too much. And of course you have Tamiya Weathering Master. So the one cool thing about this article was this hair gel. I thought that was really unique. I'd never have thought of that before. Of course also you can use Gundam Real Touch markers, like they did here. And of course salt weathering techniques,
really, really great. But in my experience, salt weathering looks like crap when you use Tamiya acrylics. Perhaps it's much better with lacquers, but I've never really experimented with it since then. So anyhow, that's the cool thing about this. Ooh, oh my gosh. There's a MiG-29. That's cool looking. That's nice. Beautiful. So that's a trumpeter, 32nd scale. Man, trumpeter's really big onto huge scales. Golly. Huh. Well, so there you go. Oh, AutoZam. That's cool. I have that kit. Haven't built it though. Very neat. I bought this at Hobby Link Japan. This is ammo by MiG, and this is the SU-35 Flanker E Colors. I bought this thinking it was going to be something fairly unique, but look, it says it's also for the SU-27 and the SU-34. Well now. Alright, so I'm not entirely sure if these, I think maybe the bottles are in colored plastic. Let's open this up and see what is going on. Well, first of all, check this out. Now, the first color you see is Night Blue Gray is what it's called. And I'm thinking that is what this color is. So, Poor Guy's Modeling Guide to Guys. Wait, it's much easier to say when it's Poor Bastards, but anyhow, this is what you're going to be getting. And that is what this color is. I'm certain of it. And if this is for the same the same jets as the 27, then I imagine these paints are going to be pretty close to the model cast and paint set. Well, let's open this up and take a look at what we're getting here. We got all these neat little plastic bottles. I've never used any MiG paints before. I've never used any Vallejo paints. So, oh hey, I think I hear like a little ball bearing in there. That's pretty neat. Water-based acrylic paint for brushes or airbrush. Shake very well before use. Let dry completely for 1 day. Alright, well, I'm going to get a piece of paper and do a little bit of comparison here. So here we have a comparison. These are very different. The Mr. Color versus the MiG. This is considerably darker. Now, these two colors, yeah, you know what? All these are all very, very different. So the model casting is this paint set here, and even though they look a lot bluer here, they're not actually that blue. And so this one is like extremely blue though. This is like, dude, blue. What the heck? It came out of this tube here, and I shook this up rather well. And it just has this really, really super, super blue. Now, that's what I don't get though, is because like this color here is obviously this color here, and this one might, yeah, be pretty close to this, but this blue is not at all matching this. This is a lot more subtler. More subtle? Subtler, yeah, subtler. It's a lot subtler than this super bright blue. I mean, it looks cool, but yeah, I don't know, man. So, and this is a MiG 86. and this is it, MiG-86. So I don't know where they're getting that from. That is like totally different. Very, very weird. Huh. Well, there you have it. Which one is more accurate? I couldn't tell you. Really couldn't say. But there you have it. So, yeah. So for Bandai, I got the Star Wars TIE Fighter. I never got around to buying one of these before, and I had like 200 yen of points at Yamato, and this was like 1,800 yen, so I paid like 1,600 yen, which is about $16 or less. So, yeah, this is a neat little addition. So, the one thing I didn't like about the Darth Vader, the very first one that they came out was the Darth Vader TIE Fighter, and it had like this integrated, coloring. This one is, takes after more of the fine molds, where you have like these panels here, and then the edge goes around the panels, so it just kind of snaps into place. Because of course, also what makes this different from the fine molds is that this is a snap kit, of course, but I'm perfectly fine with glue kits. Now this has the standing pilot figure. I don't know if subsequent pops of this replace this guy with like a flat silhouette, flat Eric. I don't know, but it does have the pilot seated as well as standing. So yeah, it's fantastic. And so you do have, oh, these are the stickers, but wait, here's the decals. If you so desire, you could put these decals down onto the clear canopy. I'm not sure if I would want to do that. But in any case, though, you do have these other little trim decals, and this is going to go on the pilot's suit as well here. You got these little triangles and crap, just like the fine molds one. So it's going to be fun. This comes with a nice Death Star trench, or a Death Star tile. That's really cool looking. Really super neato. So yeah, the one thing I really want to get is the Interceptor, but I'm gonna maybe hold off. My local hobby shop has one of those. And now I did show this a month or so ago. I don't know if it was the May or April. Maybe it was the May last month. I really can't remember, and I'm too lazy to I can't be bothered. So anyhow, I did buy this one. This is the Mitsubishi F2, A or B. The B has the two-seater. The A is just the regular one, the single seater. So the B is the trainer. But I have the paint set for this. Okay, that's neat. Now, this time, I noticed that the prices I got for a decent price, and this is something that, because it is a limited edition, the price is going to go up on this. This is the F2A, the 3SQ 60th anniversary. And this is really cool because I have this really awesome looking angry samurai guy, and it has digital camouflage. So let's look at the decals. It's basically, I looked at it, it's the same kit. It's essentially the same kit, and then you get this really fantastic looking bookmark here of F15J. That's so cool. So badass. That is just so freaking cool. Let's look at the decals. I'm not going to really spend time looking at this kit because I've already shown this before. I just want to show you the freaking neato decals here. Decals. Beautiful. That is just beautiful. Oh my gosh. It says lift here in English. So yeah, here's for the back ailerons here. That is so beautiful. So of course you have to just do like one coat Unlike the other one where it has like 2 different colors or whatever, or 3, I suppose. This one you just have, you know, the main color, and then these digital camouflage decals go on top of that. This is badass, dude. So, Hasegawa Science Military Fair 2017. That is a beautiful, beautiful jet. Dude. Okay. Man, I really need to get into building more of these, the Jeitai, the Japan Self-Defense Forces model kits. Oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. Alright, moving on. Speaking of which, you know, I did do that, the Blue Impulse, okay? And it was a really tiny kit. I mean, the T4, Kawasaki T4 is such a small airplane. I mean, just look at the picture. Look at the pilot inside. I mean, it's so small. Okay, now, I did the Blue Impulse, and I've been meaning to build another one just for myself because it was such a cool kit. But it was small, and I just, within this past half a year or so, I rewatched that entire series that I had done. Because, as I said, I'm interested in doing this again. And there's just like these really tiny parts, especially like over here and on the back of the vertical stabilizer here. So what I wanted to do is look for a 48 scale, and lo and behold, there we go. So I put in an order at Hobby Link Japan, and I got this. And I didn't even, well, I saw something else that I wanted. And while I was searching, I thought, you know what, maybe I can look for a 48 scale Blue Impulse. And then I found this, so I was pretty happy about that. So I was on HLJ.com. Now normally I've purchased from their Japanese site. That's all I've really purchased from. And HLJ, I had bought what? I think it was the Blade Runner spinner. I bought that when I was living in Chandler, Arizona. That was like the year before I moved to Japan, and that was the only time I had purchased from HobbyLink HLJ.com. And since living here, I've purchased from HLJ.co.jp, their Japanese site. But I noticed that they were doing a different sale, and I'm going to show you that next. But it's because it was Blue Impulse related, because I was doing some shopping for my father-in-law, my Japanese father-in-law. I'm like, hey, you know what, maybe I'm going to look for this. And what do you know? They do have a 48 scale T4 Blue Impulse kit. And it has pilot figures. And if I remember right, the 72nd scale did not have pilot figures. I think. I'd have to look that again. I don't know. But this one, you actually have 2 pilots here. So if you want to do the training kit, the T4 with the trainer, the 2-seater variety, you have 2 pilots. Isn't that swanky? Now let's see. I think it should have swappable parts, perhaps, if you want to just do a 1-seater. That is not the case. No, it's a 2-seater or bust. Okay, so there is no 1-seater. I cannot remember what I had done before, if that was a 2-seater or not. I really can't remember. Anyhow, here you go. Looks pretty darn cool. And this was the part here that I thought was like super duper tiny on the 72nd scale. And I've looked at these parts. They're a lot easier on the 48 scale, obviously, because it's a lot bigger. And I'm really wondering how these decals are going to come down. This was the one I had a hard time, I think. I really made a mistake with the bottom. it was not really conforming very well. That was kind of difficult. The biggest mistake I made actually was I put this down, and then I put the blue triangles down on the wings. What you're supposed to do is put the blue triangles down and then put these on top of those. But I didn't do that because I'm a silly, goofy man. But yeah, it's freaking cool, man. All right, so yeah, it's don't really see a lot of people building, at least on the English YouTube community, English language YouTube community. I don't really see many people doing Japanese modern day self-defense forces kits. Now, what I saw, and they had these for like almost 80% off or something like that on HobbyLink. This is their summer sale. This is a double set of these real neat little toys for Blue Impulse. This is by Kyoto, and it comes with water slide decals. Isn't that cool? You can break it apart, but you know, whatever. It comes pre-assembled, so whatever. I think these are plastic. Pretty sure these are plastic. So yeah, these are like these little deformed versions, the cute little versions, and you can build them up as though like you have the numbers 1 through 7. You can put them however you want to. So I got one for my father-in-law because normally these things are like 2,000 yen. And it was like, I only paid like maybe 400 yen or something crazy like that. I forget how much it goes for. The only thing you really have to assemble are the little rods that stick out of the nose. But yeah, one for me, one for him. So I'll just lay these decals down and then put a clear coat over them, and then you're done. So that's really cool. Okay. Now, I got this at Book Off, and this is a F-19 Stealth. Oh my gosh. Now, I do have the 72nd scale F-19 Stealth from Italeri. When I was a kid in junior high, I built the testers, the 48 scale, and that one it's a tester's box, but it's actually an Italeri kit. And I built that when I was a kid, and it came molded in black plastic, and I thought that was cool, so I didn't have to bother painting it and just put the decals down. Yeah, well, I've gotten a lot better at modeling since then. My gripe with this kit is it does not have the pilots, but other than that, it's pretty cool. This is by RDE. And I only got, so like they've discounted it. I got it for like 1250 yen. So like about $12. Now, as you can see, it comes molded in gray. I saw a video. If you do a search for 148 RDE F-19 Stealth, you can find a video of a Japanese modeler, and he put lights, he put LEDs in the engines and such, and it looks pretty darn badass. Now this is a 2-seater, so here are the engines. It'll be really easy to drill this out and put some 3mm LEDs in there. This doesn't come with assembly instructions, but regardless, I mean, I know what it looks like, and it's not like really complicated or anything. So I'm sure I can probably build this without instructions, and if need be, I can look at the 72nd scale by Italeri, the kit that I have. So yeah, I can use that as reference. So anyhow, the rear seat is really lacking any detail. It's just the front seat has all the instrumentation and such. Nothing on the second seat whatsoever. Not really sure how this would really play out if I try to put any sort of pilot seats, or pilots to put them into the seats at all. No idea. Just doing a quick fit though. These panels look like they would be real easy to have this built up in flight position with the landing gears up. So here's the bottom side. So it's a pretty nice, decent size. The one that I built when I was a kid was 48 scale. And it was at the time that I didn't really have any concept of scale really much, but just going off memory, you know, because testers had only released the 48 scale F-19, if I remember right. The big difference is that this is a two-seater and it is bolted in just standard gray plastic. Have these injection marks that I'll need to cut off and sand down. There's another one here. But other than that, it does look pretty darn cool. So yeah, I would like to light mine up as well. Maybe do something about this instrumentation panel here in front here. That would be pretty cool. Not sure what these are. I think these are probably the yep, it looks like these will hold the missiles in place. The clear parts, you get the canopy. And these little lenses here are for the tips of the missiles. So I had gathered that from the video that I saw that the Japanese modeler do. The canopy is there's no line going across here at all. So it's just one solid bubble, which makes this really easy to mask off, obviously. Oh yeah, there's another clear part here. I'm not sure what this is about. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it... well, no, I don't know. Beats me. If you know what that's about, let me know. But, yeah, neat. This was in fairly decent condition. Only, like, I've already taken off a few of the parts off the runners, but not much. The cockpit tub was already removed, and I just took this one little part off here to figure out where that went. And so yeah, this would be cool. I'm pretty sure I can build this without instructions. The F-19 Stealth. So this was a big thing in the 80s. RDE has, you know, they made their own. Of course, Italeri. Going off my memory, I'm not sure who else had done an F-19 Stealth. Okay, I just checked out scalemates.com, and the RDE 148 scale was released by Revell, and there was also a 1/44 scale by Revell, and also there was a 1/44 scale that was also made by Tsukuda Hobby. Interestingly enough, that it was actually, apparently, according to ScaleMates, unless somebody wasn't, you know, connecting the lines properly, it seems to be that there are two different 1/44 scale. One's by Revell and one's by Tsukuda Hobby. But it's quite possible that the Tsukuda Hobby was released by Revell. Finally, what we have here is the Cosmo Falcon from Yamato 2202. This is the space carrier version, okay? So this is, yeah, launched off of the Apollo norm. And so this is what you get inside. This is identical to the previous kit. Everything is exactly the same. You even get the old stand. Plus, you get the new stand, the new style stand, which is nice. And here are the unfortunately, as always, they're not decals. These are just stickers to put on, but they're not too bad. So you get the Apollo Norm name on here, and you got the Cosmo Navy symbol there to put on the wings and such. So yeah, that's it. So next, let's talk about models that are on the horizon that I am either considering buying or maybe I've already reserved. Okay, so of course there's other stuff coming out, like the little Death Star that's coming out, and the Mitsubishi Galant, the B-Wing, stuff I've already mentioned before. I'm not going to cover again. This is just new stuff here. So first of all, coming up real soon is the Yamato Mecha Collection. This is the Svalke and the, I don't know what it's called, the Gatlantis fighter. This is a Mecha Collection set of 2. Now the Svalke, we've seen that as a Mecha Collection. It came with the Gamulus fleet box sets, and also that I have that it was like only available on the Bandai's website here in Japan, but they have the Gamulus Mecha Collection compilation box set. So I'm sure this is just going to be a repeat of that. It's going to be a repop, but in white. So this is the guy Kima, what he flies in the ship in the story. It's really great. In September, also with Yamato, there is going to be the new Ginga ship. Now, I just finished watching, I believe it was volume 5 of the anime. I rented it. It's getting a little bit more difficult to understand without subtitles. I'm really hoping that they're going to expedite a release of this in Blu-ray for the North American audience. And but anyhow, I think that they were just leading right up to the introduction of this great ship in this show. That's really cool. From Hasegawa, we will very soon have new eggplane with the resin figures of the eggplane girls. So first up is going to be the P-40 Warhawk, and it comes with Amy McDonnell, and she's wearing a bathing suit. Isn't that nice? And then next is oh shoot, what's her name? She is a new character. It says here her name. Okay, so her name is Mikumo Shiranagi, and she's going to come with the Zero Fighter. Both of these are going to be released early in August, so we're going to see these really soon. Also worth mentioning is by Kotobukiya, the Ikaruga is being repopped. Now, I have the Player 2 version of the ship from this game. So Ikaruga was a Dreamcast game that was later released on the GameCube, and then subsequently probably on Steam and the Xbox downloading and all that stuff. Whatever. I'm not really into that. I'd rather own physical copies of games. But anyhow, this is a fun game. It's super hard. You have to really, really think. It really challenges you. And the design of this ship is both just elegant and menacing simultaneously. It's really cool. So yeah, like I mentioned, I have the second player ship, which is pretty cool. And this is the main ship, the Ikaruga ship. And coming very soon, there's going to be more droids. And when I was at the hobby show in September, when I talked to the Bandai rep, I had strongly recommended that they could maybe explore more models of various astromechs that have made appearances. And like, for example, we're going to see an R2-D2 with the Return of the Jedi, when he was working as a server, a drink server.
I'm not sure when that's coming out, but in November, R4I9. And this guy was seen in the Death Star in A New Hope in a few scenes. And actually, it's more of a pitch black. This is more like a graphite gray kind of a color that you see in these pictures. But in the movie, I believe he should be totally black. So I would probably paint him as a gloss black instead. Anyhow, really, really neat stuff. In September, there is going to be Hasegawa SU-35S Flanker. And this one looks really cool. I would already have the paint for this guy. But, you know, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I have not pre-ordered this, but I'm thinking about it. Same thing with the Yamato Ginga. I haven't pre-ordered it, but you know, I'm really strongly considering doing so. Okay, so get this. As you probably already may know, Round 2 is going to be releasing a 350 scale Klingon Katinga battlecruiser, which is just figures because I had just finally gotten around to buying the old AMT 537 scale version of the Katinga just like, last December or so. And I was planning on getting a bunch of resin kits, and then soon after that, Round 2, they announced that they're going to be doing this 350 scale. Oh well. I'm probably. I don't think I'll be getting it, but I don't know. I have no idea. One thing is really cool though is it's. Well, what is not cool is this Discovery Star Trek show. I'm not interested in seeing this whatsoever. It's more of a social justice Discovery channel, Discovery show. But, you know, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But I will say, though, that I have seen pictures of the Enterprise that is featured, like, at the last end of the first season or so. And I've seen pictures of it on the internet, and it looks fantastic. Apparently, Round 2 is considering making a model of that Enterprise, and that is just so cool. I mean, at the very least, it's a really cool looking alternate universe Enterprise. So, gosh, that is really awesome looking. So, going along, next on the agenda, let's talk about everybody's favorite YouTube comments from assholes and idiots. Alright, this first comment is in Russian. And I did Google Translate on this, and basically he's talking about anal intercourse and fecal matter. Oh my gosh. So I just said, please don't tell me what you do in private, that's disgusting. Now, sometimes when they will make comments in different languages, I will, respond to them. Sometimes, though, if it's a stupid comment in a foreign language, I'll just reply kind of snarkily like this guy. So he was asking about this is the Metal Slug figures. Where can I get these? Well, I have no idea. Just look for it yourself, dude. And like this guy here, this was the Andromeda Mecha Collection here. This guy's like, is this on Amazon? It's like, dude, why, instead of typing this comment, why don't you just like open up a new tab in your browser, do a search for it yourself on Amazon? Why do I have to do the work for you, right? It's just stupid. But, somebody, Luftpanzer was kind enough to respond to this guy, but, whatever. What a doofus. Total doofus. And this guy here, this is about my my video game collection here. It says, I've seen better collection. Whatever, I guess English is not his first language, so I just said, yeah, I've seen better comments. And this dude here. Okay, now this is for the Platts 1400 scale Enterprise C unboxing that I had done years ago. And I had no idea that there was over 1,000 views on this thing. But this guy's like 1.4 thousand views of a model opening. If the person who did this made more than 10 cents, I can no longer figure humanity. So I responded, some dingbat named Dan Tyler clicked on a video only to take the time to pointlessly complain about it, even though nobody forced him to click it. leading anyone with a triple-digit IQ to ponder why the hell he clicked on it to begin with. I can no longer figure humanity. Oh my gosh. People are dumb. People are dumb. Oh, but you know what? Some people make me happy, so here we go with that. Okay, so this is Anthony says, thank you for doing this video. It's very detailed. I'm new to modeling, and this is my second model after Star Trek Voyager, and I'm thinking I need more stuff. This is the Alshima Back to the Future DeLorean, which hopefully I should have finished by the end of this month. We will see. Oh my gosh. So yeah, well, thanks for that. I'm glad that some people find my videos useful. So, you know, you just get all sorts of comments, and most of them are great. You know, I like to see a lot of comments. I'm easily approachable. You know, leave comments. I enjoy reading them as long as you're nice. If you have constructive criticism, of course, just use common sense. You know, I do appreciate feedback, and to you know, let me know what I should do. Just as long as people are polite about it, you know. So, but yeah, you get all sorts of crappy comments, you know, like, for example, here's a, you know, I'll just, you know, give you an example.
You're so stupid, I can't stand your channel, it's so dumb it makes me want to puke. You're no good, you fraudulent hack. Oh my gosh, you suck. Duh, you're so stupid, I can't stand your channel. Oh my gosh, when do you ever finish anything? You start all these projects, but you never get around to finishing them. You make me puke. I can't stand your channel.
I can't believe I clicked this link. You suck. Look at me. My name is Steve. I don't know what my name is. I'm so stupid. I can't make up my mind. What the hell? I'm a fraud. Oh, look at me. I stepped on an ant. Oh, this is what I think of your stupid channel. It sucks.
Okay, now for stuff and things. Oh boy, did you have a nice 4th of July? I did. I had some hamburgers and hot dogs and played with some fireworks. It's great here in Japan. You are able to purchase fireworks from convenience stores, the toy sections of department stores, heck, anywhere really. It's really nice. You know, you can yeah, play with fireworks. So. Here's some 4th of July news. Facebook bans the Declaration of Independence and flags it as hate speech. So, Facebook is so crappy. Even their AI algorithms are basically just total shit lib. It's just okay. Yeah, enough said. Moving on. All right, now, if you may have heard about this, there was this Twitter account that posted this to Ryan Johnson, the idiot who screwed up Star Wars, who, of course, was preceded by George Lucas, the original idiot who screwed up Star Wars. I forget what it's called, Techno Babble, whatever. I forget what they're called. Anyhow, they posted this old clip of it's like a transcript of a discussion between George Lucas and Lawrence Kasdan. And then Lucas is like, okay, so Kasdan, he had the idea of, you know, having somebody die to you know, kind of spice it up, and, you know, so that there's more of a tragic loss, so that there's more of a feeling of accomplishment, and they're more, you know, adding more drama into the Star Wars storyline. And obviously this is about like a Return of the Jedi. Now, Harrison Ford and Lawrence Kasdan had the idea of having Han Solo die halfway through Return of the Jedi, and that didn't happen. But that, of course, that did happen in you know, halfway through the Force Awakens. So I kind of saw that coming, and I wasn't surprised when that happened in the theater. I was not shocked at all. So Kasdan also had the idea of maybe having Lando die, and like there was this kind of a foreshadowing when he says goodbye to Lando, and he looks at the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo, and he says, "I have a feeling I'm never going to see my ship again." or something along those lines. That was kind of setting it up to maybe having Lando not make it out of the Death Star when it blows up. And speaking of which, I had no idea, but just recently I learned that the Death Star 2 was far, far larger than the original Death Star. It kind of makes sense considering that it took a while for the spaceships to fly directly into the center of the second Death Star before they found the core. But anyhow, so Lucas told Kasdan, you don't want to kill Luke off. And then Kasdan's like, oh, okay, well then kill Yoda. He's like, look, I don't want to kill Yoda. You don't have to kill people. I'm sorry, I should try to use my George Lucas impersonation. By the way, Rebels at Cloud 9, Jared, he does a really good impersonation, a good impression of George Lucas. You're a product of the 1980s. You don't go around killing people. It's not nice. I think you alienate the audience. And so Kasdan pushed I think he's right. I mean, yeah, Luke is not a good idea to have him die because he is the main character. But Lucas comes back and says, this is a fairy tale. You want everybody to live happily ever after, and nothing bad ever happens to anybody. Okay, this is like probably after Gary Kurtz had already walked off and said goodbye, I'm out of here. Because Lucas was putting the cart before the horse. What he started out as having like a real science fiction, like really serious, Lucas was trying to kind of dumb it down a little bit, and that's why there's like this really awesome scene when they get into the bunker on Endor, and there's a whole shootout in the hallway between the rebel commandos and the stormtroopers. That was cut out of the movie. They tried to cut down as much of the violence as they could, and it was really dumb. So he says, I just want you to feel really uplifted and emotionally and spiritually and feel absolutely good about life. Well, that's good and all, but, you need to have some tension, and it kind of goes against what he had already done, though, because, Yoda did die. I mean, but he became a Force ghost, but, just like Obi-Wan Kenobi did. But it doesn't detract from the loss that Luke felt from when he saw Ben Kenobi die on the Death Star. So Rian Johnson, he replied to, synchronic design, that's what they're called, and he's like, ha. And so he has this picture of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, burned to death. Apparently the stormtroopers shot them and pulled their bodies out and set fire to them. And he also has a picture of Obi-Wan sacrificing himself. And there's a picture of Luke Skywalker getting his hand cut off. Nothing bad happens to anybody, except for Luke Skywalker's hand gets cut off. That's kind of bad. And of course, Yoda dying. So, Rian Johnson is a complete putz, but he is perfectly correct in this, okay? What he did wrong, though, was that he killed off Luke Skywalker, and not even giving him, like, a really, glorious death or whatever. He just totally gave Skywalker just kind of a putz death, and it was just stupid. I mean, at least there was drama when Han died in Force Awakens, but when you just kill off Luke and he just kind of like slumps over. I get the feeling that maybe he didn't even know that Luke was going to get killed. Mark Hamill, they kept it a secret from him, and then he saw it at the premiere, and he was just kind of like almost hyperventilating. He looked like he was about ready to punch Rian Johnson in the face, and it would have been good. So of course there's a lot of drama, a lot of gossip going on about Kathleen Kennedy and what they're all screwing up. She's totally screwed the whole place up. She's pooped in the jacuzzi, and nobody wants to go swimming. Although it's funny though, there was a guy who what's his name? He did a really great video. His analogy was that she had diarrhea in the bed and she doesn't want to sleep in it. Nobody wants to sleep in the bed anymore. Lucasfilm, they could possibly start by apologizing to the fans for labeling them as basement-dwelling, fat, lazy, neck-bearded racists just because they don't care for their lousy storylines. But no, of course they have to double down. I live in Asia and I have a biracial family. I don't need to be accused of being a basement-dwelling, xenophobic white supremacist because I expect a better effort in the movies that I watch. And apparently, maybe the Solo movie could have been a halfway okay movie. I'm not interested in seeing it. Although I guess, to be honest, I'm slightly more interested in seeing that than, as opposed to The Last Jedi, which I have like minus desire to watch it. It could have been a halfway entertaining movie, but people don't appreciate this attitude. Oh, you don't like our poorly written movie? Oh, that makes you a Nazi. Okay, so I'm overweight. I'm not obese, but even if I was obese, does that mean I don't have an opinion? What if I've never had sex before? Okay, so then therefore I don't have an opinion. I don't get it. So here again, the leftists, they cannot refrain from denigrating others and categorizing people by race, gender, etc. Playing this identity politics card. And once again, they cannot refrain from accusing people of living with their parents, being a virgin, etc. So the current buzzword these days is incel. If you don't know what that term means, it's involuntary celibate. And just as I warned earlier this year, false flags would be carried out in order to paint certain types of people in a bad light. And they're hyping up this incel category and trying to pin the blame on them for the mass shooters, like at the schools and such, while completely ignoring the use of the antidepressant medications that these guys are on. But oh, well, they're virgins, so then therefore they're dangerous. It's like, okay, maybe they should put out a public service announcement on TV. If you know someone who is a virgin, please contact the police immediately. Oh my crap. It's just, yeah, like in the 90s, they didn't go on and on about like Will Smith as, oh, well, he's black. You need to watch Independence Day because he's black. And it really has, you to have a main character who's black, you need to have, it's diversity. It's that if you don't like it, then you're a racist. And if people would complain, oh, the ID4 was fun, but, like the whole computer virus thing was kind of stupid, how come the computers, the alien computers are compatible with Mac OS, and that, oh, you're a Nazi, you're a racist. You know what? I've dealt with Nazis online, and I am a really, really horrible excuse for a white supremacist. Trust me, they don't like me. It's funny, I go on Twitter and I have Democrats accusing me of being a Nazi, and if I go on Gab, sometimes I might have a Nazi accusing me of being a Democrat. It's really crazy. Okay, so moving on July 6th, Shoko Asahara. Oh my. What a lovely guy. The leader of the Aum Shinrikyo death cult, which killed 13 people in a Tokyo subway system with the deadly sarin gas attack in 1995, was finally executed for his crimes. Well, and by the way, the reporters for CNN they all know what sarin gas smells like. They're like, here, sniff this backpack. And they're all,
Yeah, I can smell, yeah. Okay, yeah. It makes my nose tingle. Yeah, there must be some sarin.
yeah, dude, you would be dead, alright? Quit lying, you stupid idiots. Well, anyhow, whatever your thoughts on capital punishment may be, I am glad that justice was served to punish a man who orchestrated a terror attack which killed several people. It really upsets me to see people who orchestrate such terror attacks and who, with lots of people getting killed and having them go unpunished. But in related news, Trump is threatening to release documents regarding 9/11, which would implicate George Bush's wrongdoing. Oh my. Alright, so here's another article which is pretty interesting. Trump to support ending federal prohibition of marijuana. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, so I've never smoked pot in my life. I have no intention to whatsoever. But, there's a lot of medical, especially cannabis, which I'm not really sure what the difference between cannabis and marijuana is, but cannabis oil seems to be like working wonders, and it's really amazing. And so, yeah, it's if they have it banned, then that's good. You know, I'm not into getting high or whatever, but you know, I do drink and I do get drunk, and you know, not like falling over puking or you know bowing before the porcelain throne or anything like that. But you know, whatever. It's you know, marijuana is psychologically addicting, I guess, just like alcohol can be. But yeah, it's not bad. I don't think it's terrible. It's not like those chemical concoctions like crystal meth. I've got a cousin who's been in and out of prison his whole life. Yeah, he's a piece of crap. Anyhow, so here's another. Russia is poised to become the world's the world's largest supplier of organic foods after taking a stand against genetically engineered seeds last summer, saying that it has chosen a different path. Go Russia. Go Putin. Very good. The decision is based on healthy skepticism as Russia refuses to breeze over the fact that GMOs have not been proven safe for long-term consumption. They have not. And, you know, with the whole thing about Scott Pruitt stepping down because of harassment and such, yeah, I guess he's done some good things deregulating, but at the same time, I've heard about some pesticides being deregulated, and that's bad. I think that if he had gotten really busy with going after Monsanto and shutting down GMOs and such, then that would have really, you know, taken the piss out of a lot of the leftist causes. And it's, well, which should be leftist, but you know, they're in bed with the GMO. Monsanto, which is actually now has been bought out by Bayer, and they're going to kill off the Monsanto name and hoping that people don't notice. But yeah, Bayer, they are, incidentally, they're the ones who were responsible for developing the poison gas that killed Jews in the Nazi concentration camps. Okay, so here's going on the report, the IG. This is the independent. The IG, what does that stand for? Oh, shoot. I'm drawing a blank. The report confirms Clinton's links to crime against children. Oh, yes. Okay, so, yeah, despite claims that the IG report that was recently released being a dud, there's a lot of damning information, and it confirmed what we already knew about what was that was already found on Anthony Weiner's laptop, including the connection between the Clinton Foundation and the disgusting crimes against children. This is stuff that it's been said that the New York Police Department they have watched videos and such that were on that laptop, and they've had to seek counseling for what they had seen. So it's really disgusting. And if anybody has any doubts by now anymore these days, just do a search for the name Laura Silsby and the Clinton Foundation and how she was caught red-handed trafficking children for the Clinton Foundation, trying to smuggle the kids out of Haiti after the earthquake. But, you know, people were like, oh, why weren't there any indictments? And so people are like really upset. Well, matters of national security are classified and cannot be brought into civil court case. This whole thing is just a delay tactic, just like letting Rosenstein and Mueller run amok while Sessions and Huber build their huge hammer to drop on these scoundrels. All I can say is trust the plan. Okay, moving on. Oh, look. Astronomers discover monster black hole the size of 20 billion suns. Oh my gosh. Well, now we know what to do with Hillary Clinton. We can just toss her into the black hole and let the inhabitants of Dimension 13B handle her, I guess. Let's see what they want to do with her. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Deranged Reiner. This is Rob Reiner. Trump is evil like Hitler. His supporters are hardcore racists. Again, if I am a hardcore racist, I am a really bad at being a racist because, my wife is Japanese. My wife is Japanese, and, I have a biracial child, so that makes me a race traitor. So this guy, he just can't ever shut up, and you know what they say about the loudest voices. Like I have a hunch that he is going to be exposed for either raping little boys, or that this guy is I don't know, he's killed somebody, or he's a rapist or something like that. This Rob Reiner guy, I'm telling you, I got a feeling that he's probably going to be a pedophile. I'm not saying he is, but I just got a gut feeling. So if it turns out I'm right, then just remember this right now, that I'm calling it right now. I just got a bad feeling about Rob Reiner. I mean, I've enjoyed some of his movies. I recently watched Stand By Me, probably like a year and a half ago. But yeah, I think this guy's got some skeletons in his closet, and that's why he can't ever shut up. And, moving on, here we go. Oh, this is in the New York Times. Colleges celebrate diversity with separate commencements. So apparently these, the black kids wanted to be, they wanted to have their own separate, but is it separate but equal commencement ceremonies? Gee, I wonder. Yeah. So, this is, again, more racism, and, way to go. Congratulations, Democrats, I guess. You guys have, again, succeeded. So, the racism, it's no different than it was 100 years ago. It's just subtler these days. They realized about 70, 80 years ago or so, that the whole white hoods and lynchings and burning crosses, that it wasn't getting them anywhere, and they were defeated with the Civil Rights Amendment and all that sort of stuff. But they just switched their tactics. And so they're using reverse psychology. They're like, oh yes, hey, you know what? Those white people are terrible people. You want to stay away from them, don't you? Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's so disgusting. So here we go. Leftist protest ICE agents busting child sex ring. Yeah, so they got these signs saying nobody's illegal, and while trying to interfere with ICE, and these ICE agents they're busting up child sex trafficking, and these people, yeah, well, see, you know what? There's a very good reason why they are adamantly against child. The ICE is because the ICE is built. They're totally busting up these child sex traffic rings, and yeah. It seems, especially when the Clintons, like anybody who is remotely connected to them, are being, found out to be total, like this, what's his name, Joel Davis, I guess, who was that children's charity, like, against rape and child abuse, and that guy was soliciting a undercover FBI agent to try to have sex with a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. Yeah, it didn't take much of a guess to figure out who he was supporting for the 2016 election. Yeah, I'm sure that these protesters, they're well-meaning people. I guess they're just really stupid, but yeah, they're just pawns, I guess. So they get their marching orders. Gosh, this video is becoming extremely long. I'm probably getting close to 2 hours or so. Anyhow, this is about time for me to wrap this up. Yeah, I guess. Well, I wanted to. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Tommy Robinson, but I mean, I don't know what else I can say that hasn't been said before. England, I really pray that the sensible people of the country will take back their nation out of the clutches of these despicable people like Theresa May and what's his name in the Labour Party. I don't know. It's just it's really disgusting what's going on in England, and I would not ever want to visit there. When I was in high school, I used to want to. I really wanted to visit England, but now it's like, no. I mean, I would probably just totally skip London and just go somewhere else if I was to go to that country. But with the whole, the blacklisting goddess Laura Southern, and incarcerating Tommy Robinson for just reporting, not even mentioning any names or anything, but yeah, and then forcing him into a BS plea bargain. That's it's just an insult to justice. It's really disturbing and disgusting. Anyhow, oh, and of course, one last thing. Oh my gosh, how could I have forgotten? The big excitement is Space Force. Oh my gosh.
Space Force, space, 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 force. Space Force, space, 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 force. Space Force, space, 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 force. Space Force, space, 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 force.
That's right, Space Force.
Space Force, space, 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 force. Space Force, space, 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 force. Space Force, space, 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 force. Space Force, space, 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 force.
Okay, so this has been a rather long video, so thanks for watching so far, and I'll post more modeling videos soon, and this modeling update video has been brought to you by the letter Q. Thanks for watching. Bye.